It was 11:42 p.m. on August 15th, 2025. The moon hung low over the Arabian Sea, casting silver streaks across the dark water. The night was calm, deceptively calm, and the US Navy destroyer USS Chaffee was deep in international waters, leading a convoy of 6 merchant vessels bound for the Suez Canal. For hours, the sea had been uneventful, until the radar lit up. Inside the Combat Information Center, the SPY-1D radar suddenly painted a wave of small, fast-moving contacts approaching from the northwest. The initial count was 30, then 60. Within minutes, the number had climbed past 100. The operators exchanged tense glances as the tracking system kept adding more returns. The contacts were moving in coordinated groups spread across a 20-mile front. By 11:50 p.m., the picture was clear. This was not a coincidence. 700 pirates in more than 100 skiffs were converging on the convoy. The USS Chaffee was a formidable Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, but this was a scale of threat rarely seen in modern piracy. The Gulf of Aden had seen large raids before, but nothing like this. Intelligence analysts aboard suspected this was a coalition of pirate groups from multiple Somali clans, perhaps emboldened by recent successes against smaller, unprotected merchant ships. But they had miscalculated. They had not expected to face the full weight of the United States Navy in one of the most decisive nighttime battles in recent maritime history. By midnight, the crew was at general quarters. Every sailor was at battle stations. The ship's massive 5-inch Mark 45 gun rotated toward the threat axis. The Mark 38 chain guns were manned. 50 caliber heavy machine guns were locked and loaded. And in the hangar bay, MH-60R Seahawk helicopters were spinning up, their pilots ready to launch into the night sky. The convoy tightened formation under the destroyer's protective umbrella. The USS Chaffee's captain coordinated with 2 additional US warships, the guided missile cruiser USS Antietam and the destroyer USS Preble, both of which had been operating in the region. Within minutes, they had formed a 3-ship defensive triangle around the convoy, overlapping their weapons ranges and creating a kill zone no pirate could cross without being annihilated. At 12:06 a.m., the first visual confirmation came from the lookout perched high on the Chaffee's mast. Faint lights danced across the horizon, the telltale signs of pirate skiffs charging at full speed. Through night vision goggles, the image was chilling. Dozens upon dozens of boats, each packed with armed men, their silhouettes framed by the faint moonlight. Many were brandishing AK-47 rifles, others cradled RPG launchers. Some boats had makeshift shields bolted to their bows, crude attempts to deflect small arms fire. The captain's voice came over the intercom. "Weapons free on all hostile craft. Engage at will." The battle began at 12:10 a.m. A single thunderous boom erupted from the Chaffee's forward gun, sending a high explosive round screaming toward the lead formation of skiffs. A plume of fire and water erupted where the shell struck, instantly obliterating the target and sending fragments flying into nearby boats. Seconds later, the destroyer's portside chain gun opened up, spewing a stream of 25mm rounds into another cluster of pirates, ripping through wooden hulls like paper. The USS Antietam joined in from the east, her own 5-inch gun spitting fire into the night. Tracers lit the darkness in every direction. The sea between the US ships and the pirate swarm became a maelstrom of exploding water, shrapnel, and the echoing roar of naval guns. By 12:18 a.m., the MH-60R Seahawks were airborne. Flying low over the waves, their FLIR cameras locked onto hostile craft, marking them for destruction. Door gunners fired controlled bursts into the water ahead of pirate boats, forcing them to swerve and break formation. The helicopters coordinated with the destroyers, herding the pirates into predictable lanes of fire. But the pirates were relentless. They pressed forward, some boats zigzagging to avoid the withering fire, others attempting to circle wide and strike from the flanks. It was then that the US Navy's technological edge became decisive. Link 16 data sharing allowed every ship and aircraft to see the same real-time tactical picture. Pirate movements were tracked to the meter. Firing solutions were calculated instantly. At 12:24 a.m., the USS Preble unleashed her Phalanx CIWS. The Gatling gun's high-pitched roar filled the night as streams of tungsten rounds shredded a line of oncoming boats. In less than 30 seconds, 7 pirate skiffs were reduced to flaming debris drifting on the waves. The pirates attempted to rally, firing bursts from their rifles and launching RPGs. The weapons splashed harmlessly into the sea, far short of the destroyers. In response, the Chaffee's starboard 50 calibers opened up, hammering the nearest boats until they were dead in the water. By 12:32 a.m., the battle was fully one-sided. The US Navy's 3-ship formation and air assets had cut the pirate force in half. The surviving boats tried to retreat, but the Seahawks chased them down, marking their positions for the destroyers to finish. The Antietam's crew maintained steady, deliberate fire, sinking any vessel that refused to break off. At 12:41 a.m., the climax came. A cluster of 40 pirate skiffs made a desperate charge toward the convoy's western flank, hoping to overwhelm a single merchant ship before the destroyers could respond. But the USS Chaffee was ready. In a coordinated strike, her 5-inch gun and 2 chain guns unleashed a storm of fire into the formation, obliterating one boat after another in rapid succession. The Seahawks strafed from above, their gunners cutting through the chaos with deadly precision. Within 3 minutes, the western attack had been completely erased. By 12:50 a.m., the pirate fleet was in full retreat. The sea was littered with debris, capsized boats, and the glow of burning wrecks. Helicopters hovered low, scanning for survivors while keeping their weapons trained on any stragglers still attempting to regroup. The final moments came at 1:02 a.m., when the last remaining skiff disappeared into the darkness, engines screaming as it fled toward the Somali coast. The US Navy had not pursued beyond international waters. The message had already been sent in the clearest possible terms. In just under an hour, more than 700 pirates had been scattered, sunk, or forced to abandon their attack. Not a single merchant ship had been touched. Not a single sailor on the convoy had been harmed. The scale of the engagement was unlike anything seen in the region for years, and it had ended with overwhelming American dominance. For the crews of the USS Chaffee, USS Antietam, and USS Preble, the night was a testament to the US Navy's ability to operate at the highest level under the most extreme circumstances. It was not simply firepower that carried the day. It was the combination of discipline, training, and seamless coordination across air, sea, and electronic warfare domains. Long after the last echoes of gunfire faded, the ships continued their escort mission, steaming toward the Suez with their charges safe behind them. The waters, once roiling with danger, were now calm again, the moonlight glinting off the destroyers' steel hulls as they cut through the waves. The Battle of July 26th would go down as one of the most decisive anti-piracy actions in modern history. It was proof that no matter the numbers, no matter the ferocity of the attackers, the US Navy could and would meet them head-on and win. If you are proud of the sailors who stand the watch in the world's most dangerous waters, protecting not just America's ships, but the arteries of global trade, share this video, like it, and subscribe to the channel for more untold stories from the high seas. And in the comments, tell us, do you believe piracy can ever truly be eliminated? Or will there always be those who try to test the might of the US Navy?